Now, I said the last time we were on looking at Aston Villa, but Unai Emery Monchi, everyone associated with Aston Villa, is playing the highest degree of 4D chess I think we've ever seen in the transfer market. Last time we were chatting about Douglas Luiz and player swaps and a few other bits and pieces that might be on the go. But Aston Villa have just refurbished their squad, replenished their squad with two amazing attacking talents that I've got to say is utter transfer genius. But this comes in the midst in the kind of the wake of another huge signing as we see Amadou Onana move from Everton to Aston Villa for circa 50 million quid, depending on how to structure the deal. And is there going to be any other wee players kind of changing path as a result? We'll wait and see. These transfers have been really busy so far this summer, but this is a move that is going to make a huge difference to Aston Villa. And I was saying in the last video, you know, Douglas Luiz going out leaves a big void, and the likes of Baron Ashea, who was brought in that deal, as well as whoever else they were going to go in to the transfer market to bring in, was going to have a lot of weight of expectation on their shoulders that they can fill the void that Douglas Luiz left at Aston Villa. In the video today, we'll be catching up with the Villa. What have they been doing? One or two players have maybe left as well, and as like I mentioned already, there's been a few genius incoming transfers at any point in the video. If you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this as we cover the biggest moves across the transfer window as we get set for a massive 24-25 season all across European football. And get into the comment section on this one and let me know, what does Aston Villa really have left to do? Because when you see the squad, it is pretty tight. It is pretty tidy ahead of a Champions League campaign and another top four push. So I'll be really interested to hear what the Villa fans think is still on the menu for this transfer window. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, I've updated the squad board since the last time we were on. I had so many Aston Villa fans in the comment section saying, you forgot about Costa Nedeljkovic. I couldn't get Nedeljkovic in the board here, so I've just called him Costa. And yeah, I did forget about him. I'm sorry, it's not a guy I'm really that familiar with, and I wasn't even really sure that this is a guy that Aston Villa would be looking at filling out their first team roster with. But oh, you guys seem to think that's going to be the way it shakes out. So we've got him in. We do expect that maybe Matty Cash, John Duran, Donker. There's maybe going to be another couple of outgoings that will kind of, make this team look a little bit less busy. But with the addition of Onana in here to replace Douglas Luiz, this midfield, let's just get Donker out of the way because we expect he leaves. And wee Boobs, who we had down as injured last year, is surely going to be a first-team player. Because Onana is a defensive midfielder as such, but the main qualities, the main attributes that Onana has got so many, supporters, positive reviews and write-ups about is his ability to transition and carry the ball up the pitch. And I firmly get a lot of deja vu from Yuri Tielemans signing from Leicester, where this is a guy that was seen as, not really a defensive mid, but definitely not an attacking mid, but a kind of number 8 jack of all trades midfielder that at Leicester wasn't really producing goals and assists as regularly as anyone would have thought. And we actually did see a bit of an upturn in that at Aston Villa, and I think Onana's going to be the exact same. When Boobs is fit and available, I do think that he is the tackler, he is the ball winning defensive mid that will come and protect the defence here. Baron Ashea is going to be his kind of little bit of protection. But in Onana, they maybe don't have someone that has the same passing range, etc., that Douglas Luiz has, ability to bang from edge of the box. Onana maybe has a bit of that in him. But what Onana does give you is a bit more of that mobility to travel with the ball up and down the pitch. Maybe similar to what I thought maybe Barkley or Tielemans might be tasked with doing this season. But Onana is definitely going to be number one pick for me to come in to this midfield box in the defensive base alongside wee Boobs. And if wee Boobs is injured, I think Onana could play very, very well alongside the likes of McGinn or a Baron Ashea, depending on, or even Tielemans. I know Tielemans normally plays higher, but with Barkley, with Ramsey, with Rodgers, this, honestly, like the engine room, especially at the Champions League level, and especially pushing for the top 4, top 5 places in the Premier League, the midfield needs to be full of players that can cover a number of different positions, can fit tactically the main system that the manager and the team is looking to deploy, but all have that floor, that level of they're all at least this good, so that no matter how dire the straits get or how desperate the situation might be, you're very confident in a lot of the different combinations that can come out of this. And genuinely, I don't think there's a better built midfield in the Premier League, maybe the exceptions of Man City. I don't know. Arsenal have got better absolute quality, I would say, but genuinely look at the numbers and look at the different options that they've got for that midfield box, engine room, diamond kind of shape that they play, depends on the opposition or whatever as well. So it feels like once they've kind of settled the defence out, like we've seen Maatsen in the last video, let's see what happens with the right back situation a little bit more. And I do still expect to see a centre back come in here. But really, like, this team is built to kill, because now some of the worries we had for Aston Villa in the last video was in the attacking sense. And I've been quite confused in this channel why, and obviously the money and the homegrown thing for FFP is fantastic, but why they sold Cameron Archer last year. But they've actually bought him back. So in turn, what's actually happened is they've had a fancy loan deal with Sheffield United where Aston Villa are a couple million to the good, and they get another homegrown player back, having played like a full Premier League season. And I think alongside Lewis Dobbin, maybe they're hedging their bets. I know Dobbin's maybe seen as a bit more of a wide forward. We spoke about that in the last video. I think he could be a guy that would come in and challenge or cover for Watkins, certainly. And I think Archer very firmly is in that same mould. Subsequently, we see that John Duran is probably going to get pushed out the door here, because it feels like the attacking complement at Aston Villa is very well set. Diaby does have some links to Saudi Arabia. I really hope they do go away, because I want to see him in this Villa team this year, because Bailey was made better as a result for me, and I think Bailey is most Aston Villa fans is maybe favourite to start in the best 11 here. But also adding in Ealing Jr. in that trade gives them extra width options, and similar to Cameron Archer, bringing back from Hull City Jadon Philogene, or whatever you call him, I'm just going to call him Genie, but bringing this guy in who was getting interest from Barcelona and a few other major players across European football. This is another really wide option. I don't think Morgan Rogers really gives. When I've seen Morgan Rogers, although he's a kind of wide forward, he really does want to come inside the pitch. He's strong and robust enough. He could start in this kind of position here and play off the striker or whatever. So I think actually having some genuine width for two players on this side, maybe you'd put Diaby and Bailey in the same bucket on this side, but really like a little bit more proved quality maybe, and Dobbin and Archer would make you feel a little bit better. But sincerely, like, this Aston Villa team is built to kill. I've seen a statistic about the goalkeeper as well, Emi Martinez. 44, 45 games for Argentina, 4 cups or whatever it is, and 33 clean sheets. Like a world-class goalkeeper. And with the likes of Diego Carlos, Pau Torres, Konsa now, Maatsen, that is a top-end defence. We've been gushing about the midfield in this video already, but Aston Villa are not taking any prisoners. They are not messing about. And like I said at the beginning of this video and in the last one, they are playing 4D transfer market chess better than anyone else out there. They're trading youth players for lots of money to get their FFP up, while also bringing in high-value prospects that really do make their squad a whole lot better. And honestly, like, the sky is the limit for Aston Villa this year. I'll be really interested to see once the likes of, like, if Cash does leave, we've seen Callum Chambers leave for a couple of million out to Cardiff as well. John Duran maybe leave Dendoncker like we mentioned already. Is there anyone else we would clean out of this team? Maybe Adina, but I don't see that really happening. Buendia's still got a soft spot for a lot of fans, and he's been unlucky with injuries, so maybe there's not too much more housekeeping to be done here. But really, like, they've kind of got everything going for them that you would want. They've got enough creation and enough dynamism in attacking midfield. They've got enough solidarity, I think, in defensive midfield. The wide areas, everything here is just singing and dancing. Maybe the last question mark is just a little bit more insurance on Watkins. But I think between Dobbin and Archer, Diaby, Philogene maybe even comes into this as well. Tielemans maybe even comes into this. We've seen him play up front in some moments in some games last year. It really does feel that this Aston Villa squad now is going into pre-season like set, ready to go. And maybe there'll be one, maybe 2 more additions, but they have not wasted any time. They've got the players they want very, very quickly. And like I said already, I do think the sky's the limit for them. The Champions League hurdle, I think, is a big question mark on the ability of a lot of players in this squad. But when it comes to what they'll be able to do in the Premier League, I'm not really too worried for Aston Villa. I think they're a solid shout for top 4, top 5 again this year. You know, really impressed with the Amadou Onana transfer, a big, big money guy who is Premier League proven and went on a really meteoric rise throughout European football, becoming a nailed-on Belgian International, having done so well in France before coming to England, and a really struggling Everton team being one of the main men. And like I said already with Tielemans, it just gives me some real deja vu on that kind of move where we know he's good, we know he's a good international, he's got some clear qualities, but I think that in this Aston Villa team we might just see the best out of him. And if Onana can be that real bombastic, dynamic, you know, almost Eberiche Eze is the kind of vibes I'm expecting to see out of him. Maybe from a bit deeper, you don't feel the attacking output quite as much as you see with Eze, but he does have that real energy to get up and down the pitch. And when you're coupling that with Ramsey, McGinn, Barkley, Tielemans, wee boobs, obviously. Buendia, if he's fit and available, who knows? Rodgers, obviously, I know was getting a lot of headlines towards the end of the season. That midfield is going to be so hard to live with for almost every Premier League team. It's untrue. And then it's just about the strikers, the players in the attacking positions, taking their chances and making the most of it when they come along. So, yeah, huge business from Villa, wasting no time at all. We're halfway through July, and the way things are going, we could get to the 1st of August, and Villa are closed for business. Everyone's out that's going out, everyone's in who's coming in. And honestly, when you compare that to City, who haven't really done any deals yet, Liverpool in a state of transition where Arne Slot haven't really done any deals yet, Man United are getting some bits and bobs done. Chelsea are, I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing some deals. Newcastle haven't really made any moves yet. Tottenham haven't done too much yet. Aston Villa are out in front ahead of everyone preparation-wise so far this season. And I'm really excited for them. I'll be really excited to catch the comment section on this one, but to see what you guys thought of the video today as well. Is Onana going to be a W? Where else does Aston Villa need to really enforce? I think, honestly, like, it's not too glamorous because they're doing it all so quickly, and they're doing it with some high-value, homegrown prospects as well that they've been so clever to go and get that first-team experience with last season that maybe there's not the Diaby factor, there's not the Bailey factor, there's not the Pau Torres factor in this transfer window, but they didn't really need that. They've kind of had that already. So, yeah, great moves from Aston Villa. I'm really excited to catch the comments and what you guys think, as well as see what they do throughout the remainder of the window. On screen now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one.